any of these managers, yeah, if you don't do one season in the Super League, you're an idiot because you could win it. Like, what if you win it and then like this is what I'm thinking. Like the fans, Man United fans would be gassed, Chelsea fans would be gassed, Liverpool fans would be, any fan of these teams, yeah, that wins this tournament is gassed. So obviously, yeah, let's just start off European Super League. If people don't know what it is, because it's only just come out. What is it?
6 teams from the Premier League, the so-called Big Six, which we'll get into like in a bit anyway. But it's basically, from what I gather, it's kind of a little bit like an NFL league. So it's like they put the best teams within the league, and there's no relegation, there's no promotion. It's just a format, and even if you come bottom of the table, you still get a massive amount of money like from it. So it's Americanization in a nutshell. It's basically like, you know, when you do like in an NFL or NBA, it's like the Eastern and Western Conference and stuff, and then they go to the playoffs or whatever it is. It's kind of very, very similar to that. So they've proposed this like fucking league where they're going to get the best teams in Europe, which again we will come on to in a bit. But I mean, that's in a nutshell, mate. That's kind of what it is, to be fair. It's trying to get the best teams in Europe to compete against each other in this league. And then, you know, and I think what they planned for was it's something on the side of the Champions League. So they were trying to they still compete in their domestic leagues and still compete in the Champions League or in the Europa League if they're in the Europa League at that time. But they basically wanted a guarantee that they're going to be challenging for some, not even challenging, they're going to be in something where there's no relegation, no promotion, and you still get rewarded for it.
And it's just for the same. Is it just for the same teams all the time, or?
Yeah. So once you're in the league, that's it. You're in, and that's the way it is. So I think they're trying to think of other teams can qualify, but the people that signed up to it will be known as like founding members. So because they're a founding member, they can't leave the league, and they get guarantees basically.
Yeah, because sorry to cut you off. I've just seen I'm looking at right now a thing for how it's going to be formatted.
Yeah.
So it's like teams will be placed into 2 groups of 10. They play each other home and away, followed by a knockout stage.
Yeah.
All the games are in midweek, which is obviously the same as like Champions League anyway, and it will run from August until May. Like you said, 12 founding clubs with 3 more anticipated, and then the 15 founding clubs will govern the tournament, and 5 other teams will have to qualify each season.
Dead.
So first impressions.
Dead.
Oh, it's shit.
Dead.
I think like it's a lot of like upheaval just for money's sake.
What I gather from it, from what I can understand through my sheer minimal knowledge of economics and all of this shit, is what I gather from it is the clubs that have gone into it feel hard done by the leagues that they're in and feel like they're not getting enough of what they should. So they've come up with this thing of guaranteeing themselves maximum amount of money possible. So, and it doesn't give them any risk. So it's always reward. So you think in the Premier League, if you're in the Prem, you do have not very likely that, say, like Chelsea, it won't be very likely Chelsea will get relegated, but there is always that element of play shit enough you can, and then you start from the Championship. And the Championship, once you're in it, is kind of hard to get out of anyway. Like, that's a fucking difficult league. So what, from my understanding, is the majority of the clubs that have kind of signed up to it have American either ownership or have Americans on the board with them, and they're trying to maximize profit with no risk. And I think the reason I say it's dead is when you play in the Champions League, you have to work to get into the Champions League, and you have to work in the group stages, and you have to earn your right to get to the knockout stages. Then you've got to perform in the legs and in the other ties that lead up to the final. You have to be there to compete, and that's the whole premise of football. Football isn't you get rewarded off of shit. It's if you're shit, you don't get rewarded, because that's the whole point. Like you shouldn't finish bottom of a table, not get relegated, and then go unlucky fella, it's 50 mil.
That's
like,
the
it
thing.
doesn't work.
Yeah, that's the thing that I saw as well. Like, and football itself is like a meritocracy. It's not. So, like you say, it's done based on what you do well. Like, if you have to play well to win shit, like the money, like as a business model, if it was like a regular business other than something where it has fans that are interested in it, it would be a good business model because it guarantees money. So, like, if you could do that in any other business where you have a consumer, but it's not like it's just one product, the product doesn't really change that much.
Yeah,
it would be a sick idea. But because football is based on the whole, like, people are getting results, everyone's invested in different things.
Yeah,
Like, it's not just one product. That's why it's fucked. And also, it's like these teams, yeah, like you can probably see why they're going in for it. Because if you think about it, Man United, yeah, and they look nowhere near like winning the Champions League. Same with Arsenal and same with Tottenham, yeah, just for going on the English clubs. So they're thinking, hold on a minute, we can be guaranteed Europe playing against all these big boys like Barcelona, Juventus, whatever, Real Madrid, and we're going to get like 250 million or something at the end of it. Like, I don't know, that's just a random figure, but
yeah. But the problem to counter that is the reason why when you play against a bigger European opposition, so when you play a Real Madrid, a Bayern, a PSG, around like a Barca, is because you've earned your right to get that far to then test yourself against them. And then if you lose, you know you're way off it, and you know that you deserve to get knocked out, like because of that. So the whole thing of just putting all these teams into one league and then going, well, we'll just see who's the best, and then if you ain't cut it, don't worry about it. Here's a fat paycheck at the end. Obviously makes sense to them because they're going to get a shit ton of money regardless. But the problem is you're not in a sport that's like that. You're in a sport where, like you said, it is merit based. It's you get money and you get privileges based off of your performances. You get that kind of aspect, like, and I think, I don't know where to begin with it because there's so much wrong with it in so many different layers that I don't even know where to start with it. Like,
it's clear why they've proposed it.
It's clear why they have, because, like, to play devil's advocate, you know, in the grand scheme of things, they're probably looking at the American owners are probably looking at it and going, we're Man United. We don't need to play Sheffield United again. We don't need to play Newcastle anymore. We don't need to play Crystal Palace like twice a week. We don't need to play Wolves 4 times a season in different cup competitions. It's like that shit's dead and buried. Like, you know, like when they pull up on Sky, like the record of Man United against such and such, it's like, oh, they haven't won in like 30 games against United. The American owners will look at that and go, well, they've played each other 30 times. They can't beat us. Why are we still playing this fixture? Like, whereas we know that you've still got to play what's in front of you and you've still got to beat with what's in front of you. It doesn't matter what happened previously. They've got new players. They've brought in different people. They might have a new manager. They might have a new system or tactics they play. It's a different game week in, week out, but they don't see it that way. They see it as we need to be playing the big boys because we are the big boys. So big boys should play big boys. But then you take away the whole, like, spectacle of it. You take away the whole thing of, if we were in the Champions League, say for this season when we had PSG in our group, we automatically looked at that group and went, that's going to be tight. We're going to have to really be on our game. And ultimately we came short and we left the group. But when we left the group, we went, oh shit, mistakes cost us that. That performance against Istanbul weren't great. We should have played better. That may have given us a bit more of a chance. PSG were better on one of the nights that we played against them. And it's fair. Like, the whole point of football is it is fair. It's a fair playing field. Like, and I know that people will say Chelsea have got a load of money, City have got a load of money, blah, 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 but it's all relevant to what you bring in as a club. Like, it's Chelsea can spend the money they spend because of the sponsors they have and the revenue stream that they have and the merchandise they sell and the fans that they've got. It's all relevant to what they have. So in short terms, it is a bit of a level playing field because you bring in what you can. And, you know, you see teams like Leicester don't spend a shit ton of money, but they're still pushing for top 4.
Whereas West Ham as well.
Well, yeah, exactly. And you've got teams like Arsenal who coming onto this format of saying of Europe's elite, Arsenal have never won a Champions League.
And they're also like 8th place or higher
Tottenham
or less worse than that.
Tottenham played in a final and got convincingly beat. Like, how are they part of the conversation? But Nottingham Forest then, Aston Villa's not, Benfica's not even invited. Even fucking Red Star Belgrade have more fucking European.
But the thing is, though, what they're looking at is who's the biggest cash cow, who's got the most fans.
Yeah,
like that is literally it. Like, do you think it's going to make the football more or less entertaining? Obviously, like, you've got all these big, and there's another thing I want to go on to as well. But all these big teams, all these big players playing against each other, like they're getting 2 games against each other, whatever, to battle it out.
Yeah.
Does that make it more or less entertaining? Because if that's me, right, and I know like Bruno Fernandes has already spoke out about it, like on his Instagram or whatever.
Yeah.
That he's against it. So why is he going to want to put? Why is he even going to want to play?
Well, it's this is what it comes back to in like the essence of it's a spectacle, isn't it? Like, you waiting for that opportunity to show what you're capable of. If you're doing it week in, week out, you know what the other team's capable of, and then it just becomes a battle of chess. It then becomes a battle of tactics. Because if you know that they're just going to set up and try and dominate possession, you'll just sit back and play on the counter attack. That's not entertaining. It's entertaining when it's one-offs, because you have that hope, you have that, they're doing really well in their league and this is who they've beat in the competition before. However, you never know. Like, we could do something here. And that's the thing, is they're stripping that away. And it's like in NFL, if the NFL have had, like, if the team has had the most funding or had the better of the draft picks, or they bring in that one player, you know they're going to fucking win the Super Bowl. Like, they're going to.
It's like Tom Brady, and he went to Buccaneers and they won the Super Bowl.
Wherever them players go, they'll win it, and that's the end of it. Like, and there's nothing that you can say. Like, it's like if you're Golden State Warriors, for example, they've got a fucking good team, but if Golden State Warriors then turn around and went, we're taking LeBron, fuck it, you might as well fuck the league off. You might as well fuck it off. What's the point?
Yeah.
Like, it's a joke. It's such a joke, and it comes from the FA not doing the right things by checking who these fucking people are before they authorize people to, like, sell the club.
Yeah.
And also, like, they're under a separate umbrella as well, because they're not angels. They've lied to us for years. The FA. The FA, the Premier League, fucking UEFA, FIFA, all lied to us. All of us. They, like, and this is what I was before going to touch on, is they take us, the common man or woman, if you're a woman that watches football, they take us for fucking mugs. Like, they take us for complete mugs, because we'll literally sit there in blind faith and go, well, it's my team, I'll support them. Like, I'm adamant, mate, if this goes through, I'm probably 95% sure that I'm just going to stop watching Man United, because what is the point? Because there's no like romanticism involved anymore, because they've now come out as the owners of our club, gone, well, we don't really give a fuck about you fans, to be fair. Do you know who we give a shit about? Those casuals that are sat in America, those casuals that are sat in Asia, that won't want to ever set foot in Manchester to come watch a game. Like, and I know it's rich coming from me who lives in Northampton, but I've at least been to the ground. I fell in love with the ground when I went there. Like, I love the team I support, but this isn't catered to me. And I dread to think how fans who were brought up in Manchester, or like the Salford area, that came from families and generations of their great granddad supporting United and watching the strip down and the rebirth of them, and the era of Fergie coming in and Matt Busby and all of that shit. And similar to like Liverpool with like Bill Shankly and fucking things like that. And then you've got City that were the bottom of fucking League Two in Main Road, and then they come up, and fair enough, they get taken over and they buy the league, but at least they came from something. Like Chelsea, like fucking Abramovich comes in, gives you the players that you need, and then you start an era of dominance in the league. Like, there's something about a club's history that resonates with us, but it doesn't resonate with people that are just sat on their asses in America, wherever they are in the world, and going, oh, Man United are playing, do you fancy watching it? Like, oh, they're playing Real Madrid, we might as well watch it now. And this is the thing, is it's not going to be held in the countries they should. It will be Dubai, the Emirates, fucking the Everglades, like it will be in Florida, like there'll be some in Melbourne. Like, it won't be domestic football like we know it anymore. It's going to be like a fucking World Series.
It's basically what it is. Yeah, it's basically just fixing football to like, because if they've got these founding clubs, right, 12, 15, however many there is, they're only picking the best clubs. Yeah. Well, and then 5 more teams have got to come in to qualify or whatever.
Yeah.
But what they're obviously expecting is, right, okay, the big teams are going to absolutely slap it up, and they're just going to batter all these little teams, and that's all it's going to be. So basically, what you've got is the Champions League. Like apart from like the little fairy tale stories, which if this does go through, we're never going to see again. Like Porto winning it. Like, do you know what I mean? With just a team of like just hard workers, yeah. Like that completely disappears, and it's just going to be the big teams just battering each other, and just like how long do you do it for before it gets boring? That's what I'm thinking of. It's like the same teams all the time. That one season, that's boring.
This is the thing. It won't get boring because they're not catering to a football fan who knows that this is not going the right direction. They're catering to the casuals that will just blindly go, oh yeah, I'll watch that. Like that sounds amazing.
Watch it as if it's a one-off game.
Well, yeah, it will just be the factor of it going, oh my God, United are playing Real Madrid this weekend. Oh, they've got Bayern the next weekend. And that's who they're catering for. They're not catering for the fact that we want to be part of a league and a system that we fought so hard for the fucking tiered, like the tier, whatever it's called, the pyramid.
Yeah.
But even to come to the pyramid, if you're going to take those big 6 away, which is going to be detrimental to the league in itself anyway, because the amount of money they generate to that league is a fucking joke.
Yeah.
That no one's now going to watch the Premier League. No one's going to sit there and go, oh, I can't wait to watch Southampton versus fucking Leicester at the top. Like, no one cares. No one's going to bother because it's the big teams that will capture you. It's the big teams that get the audiences. When you've got a Man United versus Newcastle, you've got the Newcastle fans that are like, fuck, I'll watch this game. I'm right up for this. Let's see if like we can do them over.
Yeah,
like,
yeah, exactly. Yeah.
And no one's going to be interested. And then it's going to trickle down all the way down the pyramid where money's going to be in this random league with all of these other things. The money from Premier League is going to get cut because they're not going to have the TV deals that they want and the sponsorships that they want for the teams. That's going to get cut. That then trickles to the Championship. Mate, genuinely, grassroots football is fucked as it is.
Of course it is, but they don't care about that. It doesn't make them that doesn't make them that much money.
They don't care about it, but it's not going to happen anymore. Once this kicks in, I'm adamant that grassroots football is going to be kaput. There's going to be nothing unless you self-govern it. Unless
it's pretty much non-existent anyway.
Yeah, unless there's councils or whatever that self-govern leagues.
Well, they do have like local FAs, don't they? Like obviously we have Northamptonshire FA, but they obviously are just governed underneath the FA. But like they could be disbanded easily.
Yeah, they could do, but then it depends if the FA get the funding that they need, like for it, because and this is the thing, you're not going to see, like you said about the underdogs, you're not going to see like a Jamie Vardy story ever again. You're not going to see someone who played in the lowest leagues and climbed up to the ranks of the Premier League and win it. That's not going to happen. Like, because there's not going to be the money to fund these clubs, to fund the centres, to fund the facilities, to have these players to come through and go to the Premier League. And the whole point of when you're younger and you dream of being a footballer is one day playing in the Premier League, especially in England, to play in the Premier League for one of these big teams or to be a team that plays against these big teams. Like the amount of times that we see in the FA Cup where Tranmere get drawn against Man United and they've got to play them at Old Trafford and they're going mad because they get to Old Trafford. That's not going to happen anymore.
Or like Havant and Waterlooville beating Liverpool at Anfield.
Northampton beating fucking Liverpool at Anfield. Yeah. And this is the thing, like, it's not going to happen ever again.
Let's talk about though, like because obviously you seem pretty adamant that it's going to happen, but obviously there's the amount of people that have come out and just said this is the most awful idea you could ever like, and the only people that are saying it are people that have played football or that have pundits or have watched football for a long time. Like that's the difference between people that want to do it, just businessmen. They have no interest in the game. It could be any sport. It could be tiddlywinks. If they go right, if I can set up a super league of tiddlywinks and we get 250 mil every season, let's do it now. I don't care what game it is. But you've got obviously all the pundits and the people that have played football that actually love the game that are so against it. It's unbelievable. Which obviously I'm with them. But everyone's trying to set up now. I don't know if you've seen. They're trying to set up obviously a shitload of reasons why it shouldn't be done. So like one of them, like players that play in the Super League won't be able to play, like might not be able to play for their national team, or they won't be able to go into like UEFA or FIFA competitions, or they won't be able to play in their domestic league or something like that.
Yeah.
So what do you think about that? Because in my personal opinion, like even Boris Johnson's got involved, I think, where he's just said like, this is not the one. Like I'm going to be working as hard as I can with the like whoever I need to stop this happening.
But I don't think you can stop it with the amount of money that's being chucked about. I don't think you can. Like, I don't think you can stop. Like, at the end of the day, mate, you know as well as I do, money talks in this world. And money, and if you've got money, you've got power, and there's nothing that anybody's going to say any different. So, I'm not against. If FIFA and UEFA are serious about this, I'm not against it. I'm not against. Like, if I'm genuinely so disgusted with Man United at the moment that I'm hoping that Premier League, whoever it is, go, you're never playing in the Champions League ever again. Also, you know that league that you play in domestically, yeah, you're not playing in that ever again. Oh, you know all those titles that you won in that league, stripped, not having them ever again. Oh, and if you want to come back when this league goes tits up, you start right rock bottom where you are. And also
they have said that, yeah.
Yeah, and it's also you get a fuck ton fine for leaving. Like, and I hope they do it.
I think personally, yeah, obviously with the things on the players, like a lot of players will just end up leaving those clubs, and those clubs will just be shit. And because even then, yeah, there's no, apart from wages, what is the incentive to play against? So, for example, let's just say, I know like PSG aren't in it or whatever, but if PSG were in it and then Mbappe and Neymar were like, I don't want to do this. I want to play in Champions League, blah, blah, blah. I'm gone. Bruno Fernandes, Paul Pogba, we'll see you later. Like, even like the Chelsea players, like, it sounds so bad, but like Mason Mount or like Kovacic. I don't want to do this. Like, I'm going to leave. So then you end up with the Super League. It won't be a Super League anymore because all the good players have left. And then you'll end up with just shit Premier League. Like, where do those players go after that? Like, if they come out of the Super League by leaving the team, do the Premier League let them join another Premier League team to carry on playing?
I imagine they probably would, because they're not under contract with the team that would be in that league. But then I think this is the difficult situation that it is, because I can't see that happening. Because I can't see in a world where if you're Mason Mount and you play for Chelsea and you look like you could be potential Chelsea captain, do you leave that?
Yeah, but do you? Okay, yeah, but
like morally,
also it does a lot for England though.
Yeah, but morally you leave. As a moral person, you leave. But also, as a human being who needs to earn money and needs to earn whatever,
and you've got a house and wife and 3 kids, 2 Ferraris, a Range Rover.
Probably bite the bullet, because you look at the wage cut that you're going to get from going somewhere else. But
also it's to play less games, isn't it?
Yeah, but also to counter that is, I don't think people are going to struggle to sign players, because if any, it's still the allure of playing for that club
and against all those big teams as well.
It's still the allure of playing for him. If you've got a player that, you know, he's 18 years old and he's an upcoming talent, and they go Bayern Munich, Bayern in part of it, but if Barcelona want you, as a person, you'd probably be a bit stupid to fucking turn it down just because they play in a Super League.
Especially as well if they maintain a lot of their squad. Well, you're thinking like if it was now, like you'd be like, okay, hold on a minute, they've got Griezmann, Messi, like they've got all these players like PK, whatever. I can go and play with them, or I can just chill at the team that I'm already at and just play against worse opposition, but in an actual league.
Have you noticed though, the majority of teams that are signed up to this are in crippling fucking debt?
Yeah, the whole thing is just backbone money.
I don't think that's any coincidence why you've got United who are in fucking major debt, Barcelona are in debt, Madrid are in debt, fucking Arsenal, Tottenham are in debt, Liverpool's in debt. Like,
but also if you think about it, yeah, they're all in debt, but like you've got to look at their performance aspect of it as well, because like the teams that aren't doing as well, obviously Barcelona got knocked out of the Champions League. Man City still in it?
Well, I've just seen apparently City, they did a U-turn. They said they weren't going to, but then they said they would. And also I've just seen apparently someone from UEFA has just come out and said Madrid, City and Chelsea are going to get kicked out of the Champions League by Friday.
There you go, mate. So But the thing is, it's like it's not the players or the managers that are making the decision. That's the stupid thing, because like the people that are governed by money will be like, kick us out of the Champions League, then, bro. We don't need to win that anyway.
No, but they will, and this is the thing that makes this fucking thing so fucked up. Is they'll go, right, we're in a semi-final of the Champions League, have never done it. Chelsea semi-final of the Champions League since fuck knows,
like 9 years, 8 years.
Real Madrid look on course to get back into the Champions League and win one with a squad that's arguably not that great. Like, but they're prepared to go, all right, fucking kick us out then, because watch us join this league and we all get 3.5 billion for joining this fucking league. Like, watch us leave.
That's the thing, like, it then becomes just like a war against governing bodies.
Yeah, it is.
Like, all it is like, it's like you saying to me, like me going, oh, can I have those trainers? And you go, no. And then I'll go, all right, then I don't want them anyway. Like, do you know what I mean? It's just like a thing of like, all right, well, if you ain't going to give me that, then I don't want it. Yeah. Like, what do I care? What do I care what fans think?
I think it's like funny that also it happened when UEFA announced their Champions League reform, which wasn't really a reform. Like, it was just adding some teams in. And
that's 3 years away anyway. Well, it was 3 years away. What we're going to do, just for if people don't know, it was going to change it to 36 teams.
Yeah,
and it was going to be, instead of 125 games, it was going to be 225, I believe, or something like that.
Yeah,
they were going to up the amount of games.
5 teams in a table, and they each play each other twice. So they play like 10 games. Like, so
I just think, any type of reshuffle, within like a game that you love, like football, like we do. They had it before with like the Euros or the World Cup, where they said, "Oh no, okay, we're going to change." Do you remember the National League? Was it National League?
Not the Nations League.
Nations League.
Yeah.
Well, what happened to that?
Well, apparently it's still going ahead.
I haven't heard about it for ages,
mate.
This is the thing, is it's when like they don't think about things properly. It's just a bit like, what the fuck? Like, everyone knows what they like because it's the Premier League has been 21 years, 20 years, whatever.
Yeah.
So everyone knows what they like. There's no point in reshuffling it. If they're worried about pandemic, the pandemic looks like that it won't be coming back, God forbid. Fingers crossed, whatever. Your money is going to go up. Like, it is going to go up. Don't worry about fucking, like, they've already getting like fans and stuff back in. People are going to be itching to do this type of shit. So your money's going to go back up.
Yeah.
Like, I know it's such a difference, but what's the problem? You've been doing it for fucking 20 years.
I think, to be honest, I think it comes back to the original point. I think the big 6 clubs, I think especially in England, have looked at the money that they get for what they put into that league and go, we're not getting our fair share here. Like, and I think that's what it is. I think it's you look at what they contribute to the league in terms of TV rights and sponsorships and stuff, and like media coverage, and they've looked and gone, we're not getting anywhere near enough as what we should do. I'll tell you what we'll do. We'll all fucking make this new league that, when we're the founders and it gets funded by an outside agency or whatever, we'll reap all the rewards because we'll get the majority of the money. We'll get guaranteed money every month that is way bigger than like
what we could ever get in the Premier League.
What we get in the Prem, and that's the end of it. And the problem is, as well, mate, is no one comes out squeaky clean of this, because I think people forget that the Premier League shafted Newcastle on their takeover, which makes me question, did they shaft the takeover because they knew something was like this in the pipeline that would completely throw off what was going to happen? Because if Newcastle then got an owner, like a billionaire owner, and then that billionaire owner went, hang on a minute,
I could have a league as well,
and I could fund this rebuild for Newcastle, and they can be part of that. That would fuck the Premier League, like, completely. If you've got now another one on top of it, and then you then look at the FA, who have lied to us for years about certain funding and things gone missing. Then you look at UEFA are trying to act like they're the fucking big bollocks, but UEFA have been shown to be corrupt. Like,
same as FIFA.
FIFA have no right to turn around and start slating people, whatever. They're the same people that took bribes off fucking Russia, knew Russia were cheating in the World Cup, then took bribes off Qatar, and then stuck a fucking World Cup venue in the middle of the cunting desert.
Yeah.
It doesn't, the place that they're building the World Cup doesn't exist yet. They're still building it, and people are dying.
Yeah, you've got to think, that's what I was going to say, because that even happened with Brazil when they had the World Cup in Brazil. Like, they were building stadiums and people were dying, blah, blah, blah. And it was just like, it was a thing of like, oh, 3 more people died. Like one of them fell off the stadium or something, and people are just like,
hang on.
mad. Can't wait for
but it's a little bit like, Well, yeah, it's a bit like, well, hang on, how have you just skirted around the fact that
Yeah.
staff working on your stadium are dying? Like, how are you skirting around that? But the problem is no one gets off squeaky clean in this, because it actually shows for how many years football's been fucked from like the get-go. Like, and coming on to like United a bit, it shows that when the Glazers took over, we hoped that there would be some form of like change and whatever. And clearly, we've had some success since they've been in, but ultimately, everybody knows that the Glazers just rinse us dry and don't properly run our club. And I think us being United fans, we thought that the day would come when one day that someone buys us out and we fuck them off. That's impossible now, because all that's going to happen is they'll join this Nations League, they'll get this amount of money, they'll wipe the debt off clean, and then everything else goes in their pocket, and we're stuck with them. And we are literally just a money machine, and that's it. We're not a football club. We are just this is our thing that is going to print us money, because we're so worldwide known. We have a massive fan base worldwide. Everybody knows who Manchester United is. Like, the allure of playing for Man United will get us over the line anyway. So it doesn't matter to them. And also for the whole performance-based thing, where no one gets relegated and you get rewarded for not even winning or not even qualifying for the later stages, they're not going to be bothered. If we don't qualify for this Nations League, for this Super League, and get to near the final, they ain't going to give a fucking toss about it. They just go, oh, what, you didn't win? Okay, we'll go again another time then. Like, that's fine.
That's the thing, though, is it like, whilst it is making a shitload of money, like, Man United could go into it and just get pumped every game.
Every single game.
Anyone could, not just Man United, obviously. Look at Arsenal, Tottenham, they are not going to do well.
No.
At all. But as long as the owners are making fucking bare peas, I don't give a shit. Like that, this has to be one of the only businesses, like business proposals, where if you don't do well, you still make more money than if you did well previously.
Yeah.
Because I saw like Man United, their earnings was going to go from like 80 million if they actually had a good season in the Premier League and the Champions League, to 250 million at least in one sitting. And that's playing against less teams or playing less games.
And that's what they're looking at. That's what they're looking at.
I'm not mad at that as a business model. Like I say, right, if you want to get rich, that's the way to do it. But that's what I'm saying. They're not thinking about the consumers, mate. And the consumers are the ones that obviously ultimately pay the money in. But they've obviously found new consumers. That's why they don't give a shit about us.
Well,
we know exactly who we're targeting, like you said earlier.
It's complete casuals, like, that they're going to target towards. They're just going to target towards people who fancy watching these games that they're putting on. And as football fans, we don't want to watch it. And a lot of football fans that I've seen don't want any part of it. And they're willing to, some fans who have supported a club for like 40 years are willing to just go, fuck it off then. I don't want anything to do with you. And that's sad in itself. But the problem is, they're not going to care about that. They're going to go, oh, what, you supported the club for 40 years? Oh, boo-hoo. Well, guess what? We're about to sell fucking 5 million pay-per-views in America. So, doesn't really matter, does it, really? And they don't care. And like I said, I get your standpoint from a business aspect, because obviously football is a business, but there's a line to where it is. Like, there's a line of, like, it's a sport fundamentally, and the fundamentals of sport is, if you win, you are granted the privileges of winning, and that's what success brings. If you draw, it's right back to the drawing board. We've got to improve this. If you lose gracefully, and you take it on the chin and you improve, and you face the consequences of you losing. But to be in the position now where it's, if you lose, it's never mind, mate. We still earned 25 million from that, though, didn't we? Like, it's.
That's the thing, though. It's like, even with the Premier League, like, it's going back to the players. The players get paid regardless. So you know, when, like, obviously now we even have it where people are like, let's say like Paul Pogba, for example, he's not performing, he's not doing this, he's not doing that, but he's still obviously getting the same wage. That's going to be multiplied by like 10.
But the problem is you see it a lot in it's not the same, but you see it a lot in like fighting, like combat sports, where if you earn quite a lot of money from losing and you lose that competitive edge, you then start to lose yourself and you start to lose what are you actually doing. And that's why
and a lot of people say, mate, even like with boxing, just as an example, you go, right, oh, I'd get knocked out for 20 million. Do you know what I mean? So like, it's not a thing of like not, but yeah, obviously you would, but that's where it creeps into where people really don't give a shit about what they're doing.
But the thing is, to counter that is you fundamentally start in a sport because you want to win and you want to, once you win enough, the money comes.
Mm-hmm.
But the problem is if you then give too much money for losing, do you then really have that motivation anymore? And are you really that bothered? Like, and then that's then what makes it not competitive. Like with like Bruno and Pogba, they're on a decent whack, but they know that every game they've got to play, they've got to win. Like otherwise there's consequences to them not winning. They're not going to play Champions League football. So it's an extra motivator. If they're now going to be in a league where it genuinely doesn't even matter, what's the point in playing the sport then?
Mm-hmm.
If we were part of a Sunday, like think of it this way, if me and you were in a Sunday league and that league was like, oh, well, if you lost at the end of the season, you came last, don't worry, your club will still get injected with money. You'd be a bit like, well, what are we doing this for then?
But that's what I'm saying.
If the whole point is if you're bottom of the table, you're like, fuck, boys, we need to pick this up because we need to win. Like, we don't want to get relegated because there's a punishment. Like, if you take punishments away, you then go, oh, well, fuck it. It's only a crack, innit?
It also adds your pride to it as well when you've got a consequence for like a negative consequence. Because I know even in Sunday League, if we were to get relegated, we'd be like, fucking hell, we're so shit. We got relegated. Like, and the word, you don't want someone coming up to you go, do you get relegated? You'd be like,
who'd you play for? FC Garden Hose. And it's like, oh, what, you got relegated last season, didn't you?
Yeah. Obviously, Sunday League is a bit different because the level of football is obviously way worse. So, like, if that was the case with Sunday League and you couldn't get relegated, you would see just a load of people fucking about because obviously they're not getting paid for it. They'd be doing all sorts of step overs, shooting from 80 yards. It would just be a mess. It would just be an absolute mess. I think that may even creep into the professional game. But the thing is, they have the incentive of I'm getting 300k a week. Why would I not? Why would I not do this? I'm getting 300k a week. Yeah, like this is what I'm saying about the business and because obviously these footballers have business mindsets as well because they're a brand. They're not just a football player. It's like I can keep financing my lifestyle for however many years by just playing games where nothing happens if I lose. Yeah. It's a no-brainer. It's an absolute no-brainer.
Yeah. And I think, but that's the thing of like, it's then not football.
No.
The whole point of football is it's competitive, it's raw, it's you can see teams putting a shift in and trying to win and trying to put things right that might have gone wrong and energy levels and stuff. If you take that away, what have you got?
And it's just on because it's on, isn't it? It's just
that's literally it. It's just like, oh, okay.
You know what it actually then becomes? Yeah, it becomes like what we do for work because we wake up every day and we go, okay, I've got to do something for 8 hours now that I don't really want to do, but I get money for it. Like that. Or the only difference is that if we fuck up, we'll get sacked.
Yeah.
Like that footballers don't get sacked. Like they get released or whatever, but they don't get sacked. No. So even if they're playing shit, they'll just get benched and they still earn the same wage.
Yeah. It makes no sense.
It really boils down to like who you are, innit? So like if you're like you say, if you're like a wealthy businessman who doesn't give a shit about football, you will watch it. It's for you. If you're an actual football fan, you're like, now fuck this shit. It's crap because you can see all the cracks in it. But like I understand that it's a business anyway, but I think they've just taken it way too far, mate. It's ridiculous.
The problem is when they started letting Lawrence said this on True Geordie, and it's like when you start letting the billionaires in, don't be surprised if they turn on you because all they're motivated by is money. Like if you've got a young millionaire that buys a football team, he's got ambitions of taking this further whilst increasing his revenue, but he's doing it because he knows it's a project. If you've got a billionaire that takes over your club, chances are he thinks this is the finished article and it's just something to make money on the side.
Yeah, because he's already got everything he needs.
Yeah, but if you bring billionaires in, don't be surprised that they're going to turn on you so like later down the line. And I heard someone say this, it was like, you invite the wolves in and then get surprised when the wolves start to turn on you and start wanting a piece of you. Like, don't be surprised that happens. And that's exactly what's happened. The FA and the Premier League have countlessly let these billionaire fucking people in without going, hang on a minute, what is your actual ambitions for this club? Like, show me the plan that you've got that you're going to put in place to do this. And if you don't do what you've set out to do, we will fine you heftily. We will take points off you, or we'll relegate you. Like, because you're not
the vetting process. That would have been perfect.
Like, well, you're not fulfilling the process that you've set out to do, that you told us, which is why the takeover is not going to happen. But all they've done is gone, okay, yeah, it's fine. Whatever. Because, you're a billionaire from Saudi. Yeah, no, fine. Whatever. Takeover City. Yeah, you're a billionaire American who wants Liverpool. Fine. Go for it. Whatever. Do you. Like, so then now, like I said before, the billionaires have looked at these clubs that they run and go, well, hang on a minute. We're getting this much money for TV rights in the UK. We could get 10 times this if we try and do it somewhere else. It's like, oh, what? We only get this for sponsors. We earn way more than this from our own sponsors. Like, so why are we not getting more money for the sponsors you do for this league? And it's like, oh, what, you paid Leicester fucking 5 million less than us? We're Man United. Why are you not paying us more?
Mm-hmm.
Like, and that's what they've looked at. They've looked at their business model and gone, well, hang on a minute. Why are them other business models earning only a little bit less than what we're doing when we pull more money into this league and we have more history? We've got more leverage to sign better players and bring attraction to this league, but we're not getting paid the money that we deserve. Like, and that's why they've done it, which, again, coming from a business sense, I can completely see it. But I mean, I've found a thread that this guy said, and there's some things it draws some parallels with yours, so I can kind of see it. So he said, for years, the big clubs have been the cornerstone of European competitions that have brought in billions of pounds whilst they have been drip-fed. The Champions League and the Premier League format is unfair to them. If you think it's the competition itself and not the big clubs that drive these competitions, why are you upset? The Champions League will continue without these teams, but you don't want to watch that. You want to watch the bigger teams, and that's the exact issue. Clubs have had enough. They said, if you don't want to feed the streets properly, we'll start our own thing where we can control the money and protect our staff, the players, and the institution. And then the Premier League, the FA, UEFA have the cheek to virtue signal and pretend that they're in football as some altruistic gesture to the fans. The same people that tried to charge £15 a match pay-per-view during the pandemic.
They did.
They said, spare me, bring on the Super League, it's fair. Even things like TV rights. Look at how BT and Sky have shafted you as a fan. You're looking at close to £100 a month to follow your team, and the big clubs only eat a fraction of that money. They are the product, and they've realised it, and they've had enough. The smaller clubs have literally ridden the coattails of all the bigger clubs and put massive effort in marketing themselves and amass huge global followings, knowing that if they can just stay around these guys without doing the same type of work, they can eat. And you think that's fair? The smaller clubs should be creative and use what they have established themselves.
That is so fair, though, isn't it?
I get it. I get what he's saying, like, completely. I do understand it, but
you know what it is, though? It's because the reason that that's just clicked in my head is because it's on us now. So it's like, I forgot about the £15 a game thing.
Yeah.
Obviously, if you want to watch the games, you have to pay for a certain package, which is actually too expensive.
Well, it's the same as, like, you hear probably your parents all the time. Like, I know my missus' mum and dad says it, where they're like, fucking hell, I'm paying £160 a month for Sky. And then, like, BT monthly pass, if I want to just buy it just to watch some games on BT, is £25 a month.
Yeah, it's ridiculous.
And not even all the games are shown on BT. Whereas DAZN, they have a monthly pass that you buy and shows everything. Like, everything, and it's $12. That's £7.
Yeah, that's nothing.
£7 a month to watch everything. That's football, NFL, hockey, basketball, fighting, boxing, race car. Like, everything that you could want is £7 a month. Like, and this is what annoyed me a little bit about Gary Neville in Sky. Like, I didn't disagree with what Gary Neville said. However, when you look at people in Sky and BT that are talking about this, and they're going, this is outrageous, blah, blah, blah. And it's like, hang on a minute. Aren't you the people that have tried to shaft us for years, like, of how much money you're charging for us to watch our own fucking teams? It's like, and also, Gary Neville, like I know Gary Neville said that he's no saint because he pumped money into Salford, and that's why they're in League Two. So they basically bought their way to League Two. But still, like you can't preach that these billionaire owners want a hefty slice of cake, which they probably feel hard done by and they should have, when you pumped a shit ton of money into a club to climb up the ranks.
Yeah.
And do that. And also for Sky and BT to go, this is absolutely unacceptable. And it's like, no, what's unacceptable is you fucking charge us a ridiculous amount of money to show games in the weirdest of fucking times. Like and what I saw this as well as a thing in America, every 3 o'clock kickoff. So when games kick off at 3, every 3 o'clock kickoff is shown, everything televised. We get a handpick.
Yeah, we also get so Sky used to get the 3 o'clock kickoffs, and then they gave them to BT, I think.
Yeah.
Either that or like there was a thing with 3 o'clock kickoffs where they literally just showed one. They're like the TV channels are not allowed to show 3 o'clock kickoffs anymore, and it was a bit like what?
Yeah.
Like so they've just basically sanctioned it the whole way anyway. And also what I was thinking is when you just mentioned about Gary Neville, who's going to be the pundits and stuff on this Super League? Is it not going to be them? Is it? I'm sure because if it's mainly shown in America, you're probably thinking that it's more than likely not going to be these guys. And if they're so against it,
yeah, some people on DAZN or like NBC or something like that. Like,
but the thing is, Michael Richards is with NBC.
See, this is the
thing. The thing is as well, yeah, they come up to Gary Neville and go, okay, listen, we want to give you such and such amount a year to still pundit these games. We're just going to show them in a different format. Do you want to do it? What's he going to say?
Obviously say yes.
Exactly. It's the same thing. So like you have to like, it's because no one's involved in it yet that everyone's got such a strong opinion on it.
You know, like I said, no one's going to come out of this as saint. The only people that feel wronged is fans, and rightly so. Yeah. Like, because I think it's shown a lot of things in hindsight, like you said about being charged so much money for fucking watching games on Sky and BT and stuff. And we've sat there and thought, well, hang on a minute, you have. Like, you've proper shafted us for years on what it is. And then it's also, you know, UEFA don't come out of it squeaky clean because then you remember what UEFA's history is, then you remember FIFA's, and then you remember the FA's, and then you kind of just think, well, who do we listen to now?
Yeah.
Like, who can we actually sit as fans and believe? Who can we sit there and put our trust in? Because you don't want to put your trust in billionaire owners trying to just only think for themselves. You don't want to put your trust in the FA because they're fucking useless the majority of times. You can't put your trust in the Premier League because they stay silent and then suddenly they turn around and go, oh, well, I didn't know about this. We didn't know about this. Like, it's not our fault. Like, we didn't know about this. You can't trust UEFA, like, at all, because UEFA are trying to sanction these quicker than racists. So
yeah,
what's going on there?
Yeah, I think
FIFA because of corruption. So what do you believe?
I think the only good thing about it, like that as we've spoke about it, I now don't know where I'm sitting. As opposed to, do I want this to happen or do I not want it to happen? When I first heard about it, I was like, what the fuck? But that's because it's change. Obviously, people don't like change. But and especially when it's been the way that it has been for 20 years, whatever, the whole time I've been watching football, it's been like this. But I think now it's like with everything, right? Like, and obviously you touched on racism. We now have like Black Lives Matter movement and stuff like that, which actually shed light on the shit that these people are doing. And it's like, okay, are you now saying that you want to sanction all this because, well, I can see why they're doing it, because it's just going to fuck your money up. And also it shows everyone else what you've been doing this whole time. Like, you don't want to, like, it's like, oh mate, it's happened in so many fucking aspects of life where you're like, things just change your opinion. Like, and that's the good thing about it, is that now everyone can form their own opinion. Obviously people that are old enough, because if you've got kids, they're just going to take it as it is, because that's obviously what we did with the Premier League. And that's actually quite dangerous to like sport and shit, because you just let people get away with whatever the fuck they want because you can watch football.
Yeah.
Like, we don't mention anything. Like, it's actually so mad that you don't, like, you just deal with things the way that they are. You don't care about like anything. Like, we all knew that FIFA and that were corrupt.
You don't say anything.
You know what? Like, as long as England gets a World Cup bid, we don't give a shit. Or like, that's the only thing we had an issue with. They don't like England, whatever. Like, we always said that Michel Platini, Sepp Blatter, whatever, they don't like England.
Yeah.
They wouldn't give us a World Cup bid. But then you think, like, fucking hell, mate, like, that is actually mad corrupt. How many other countries are getting the same treatment?
This is the thing. It's how many underhand deals literally are there? Because I know that, like, I feel sorry for Solskjaer, Tuchel, Klopp, Arteta, because I guarantee you that they were not told about this, that they were not briefed. They literally, the people above went, right, we're doing this. They went, yeah. They went, cool, let's go, let's do it. And then that's it. And then, like, and I think that now, what I find fucking sickening is managers are now going to have to sit there in press conferences for the next week or so and get asked questions about this when they're like, I'm not going to lie, I ain't got a fucking clue. Like, no idea what's going on. Like, think how, like, I don't like Guardiola and I don't like City, but I can empathise with the fact that he probably didn't even know this was happening. And he's now going to get a thing from the club and go, you know, that semi-final you've been waiting to get to? Yeah, we're now kicked out of the fucking tournament. Like, but by the way, we're going to get a shit ton of money, so it doesn't matter. And, like, as a manager, because you love football, you will sit there and you'll go, are you actually taking the fucking piss?
Yeah, do you know what? Because money isn't going to change.
But that's the thing. Like, he's like, think of, like, all the managers this season that have been deep in competitions. They've had to rotate their squad and suffer rotation and suffer players getting injured because of rotation and stuff. And then the club are going to go behind your back, do this deal, come to you and go, yeah, by the way, Solskjaer, you know, you want that trophy that you've been waiting for a while in the Europa League. Yeah, they've kicked us out.
And you just got to do it.
Fucking sound. Oh, by the way, though, we'll get like 3 billion. Right, okay. Fucking brilliant. Do we win a trophy next? Like, can we win a trophy next season? Maybe. Like, I don't know. But think of it. If you lose in the league, you don't get relegated.
And you still get, get a lot of money.
Right. Okay. Like,
this is another thing that I wanted to touch on as well, actually, because you mentioned managers. I don't know if you've seen it, but Tottenham have sacked Jose, haven't they? Well, they've been relieved of their duty. So, yeah, basically, they've been him and his coach and stuff have been sacked. So, did he go at them and say, well, hold on a minute, why is this a thing? Because obviously the timing is a bit mad. I know they haven't been performing great, but the timing's almost perfect, and everyone knows what Jose is like. Yeah, if someone says something that you don't like, he'll tell them. So has he gone? Has he gone on to Daniel Levy or whatever and been like, no, I don't rate this one bit?
No, but I was saying what I've read is it's pure results based. However, if it was results based, he would have gone when Kiev absolutely slapped them out of the Europa League. Like, so you as for face value, I'm gonna have to take it as yes, he was relieved because of results. However, it's a little bit funny that this has been announced, and knowing Jose the way that, you know, he's been at your club, he's been at my club, knowing the way that he is, I could probably see him going, hang on a minute, this is bullshit. I don't want to be a part of this. And then Daniel Levy's gone, well, fuck you anyway, because this money's going to pay for the majority of the stadium, rebuild the squad, and I'll do it with or without you. So what's it going to be? Like, and then it's funny that to pay Mourinho off now would have cost him about 30 million. Where's he plucked that fucking money out of his ass from?
Well, they've all got it. Like, the thing is that, like,
no, but when he wouldn't pay for signings in January for Mourinho to reinforce the squad, he's now going to put 30 million to get rid of him.
It's not bothered about the squad. But the thing is, it's like, from Daniel Levy's point of view, you're like, do I pay the 30 million now and then I make 250 next year? I'm not going to give a shit. Like, I get it all back and more, like way more. Yeah. And I don't have to deal with some fucking immature little shit who's going to argue with every decision I make when this is my club.
Yeah. But this is the thing as well. It's like, I know that a lot of people, like, one of the lads said to me on Twitter when he mentioned me about it, and he said, do you think Ollie would walk? And I was like, I think as a Man United man, he would want to walk. However, I think with what he's doing and the way that he wants his squad to go, he kind of can't lose that. Because morally, for us, he'd be held as a cult. Like, he's already a hero, but if he came in his next press conference and went, I don't agree with this, consider this press conference my immediate resignation, I'd stand up and I'd go, fair fucks, fucking well done, like, fair play to you. But I don't think he will. Like, and it's the same with Klopp. Klopp came against the formation of it, and Klopp said he didn't agree with it. But then Liverpool fans are now going, he's going to walk, and we'll stand by him. If you think he's going to turn around and walk away, you're an idiot.
I think he's
does,
probably the only person. Sorry, I'll let you finish.
no, but if he does, fair play to him. Fair fox. I fully rate him for it. I don't like Liverpool. Don't really like him, but fair play to him if he does.
I think, yeah, you're right. But I think if anyone's not going to walk, it's him because he, right, as Liverpool manager and as obviously Liverpool players, they all get a fair amount of stick.
Yeah.
Obviously, everyone said that the league was a fluke. Everyone's also said that the Champions League that they won was a fluke. So what? You're now going to give me a chance to go into a Super League with only the best teams and win that as well?
Yeah.
Like, if you don't, any of these managers, yeah, if you don't do one season in the Super League, you're an idiot because you could win it. Like, what if you win it and then like, this is what I'm thinking. Like the fans, Man United fans would be gassed. Chelsea fans would be gassed. Liverpool fans, any fan of these teams, yeah, that wins this tournament is gassed because their team's winning shit. Like, you can't tell me, I know you're a Man United fan, you'd still be a bit like, oh, for fuck's sake, because it's not the way that it's been, especially when Man United have been so successful in the Premier League, like set up the way that it's been, you would still be happy because you've gone from Europa League, just fucking about against like Granada and shit like that, to playing against teams like, obviously fucking Chelsea, City, what you play against them anyway, but Real Madrid, Juventus, and beating them and winning it.
But the problem I have with it, mate, is that you know me and I'm competitive. Like I like the aspect of competition and I like the aspect of it's earned. Like it's not that because we're a founding member, that's us and we're stuck and that's the way it is. And it's based off the fact of, well, we set this up, we ain't going anywhere. Like, and that's the problem. Like with the Premier League, we're fighting and we're trying to secure top four. We're trying to challenge the teams in front of us to beat them week in, week out, earn points, climb higher the table as possible, secure top four. Then in the Champions League, it didn't work out for us, fair enough. But then we go to Europa League and it's like, right, this is now a competition we can go deep in and try and win. Then you have to beat the teams in front of you and you have to earn your right to get to the place that you're at. Like the fact of, I know that we used merit before, but like being in the Super League for me would be based off merit. It would be, well, you set this up, you're in the league now, and that's just the way it is.
Maybe they then change the way that like who has to qualify for it? Because obviously they're saying
they've come out and said that the founding members, that is them, and nothing will change. They can't be moved.
Obviously, if they changed who had to qualify, it would make it better because it's still going to be different. But then you might as well just keep the Champions League. So they have to, I guess, they have to have a way to differ it and to always make sure that it benefits because it's like Rio Ferdinand said, this is the rich keeping themselves rich, and no one gives a shit about like anyone else. That's literally what it is. Obviously, I've got to go football soon. I've just realised the time. So just to like finish it off, as it is now, because I'm sure we'll end up talking about this at some point in the near future. Yes or no? If no, or yes, why? Why not? And we'll just finish it on that.
No. No. I think
strongest reason why it's a no for you at the minute.
You don't fix what ain't broken. Like at all. Like there's nothing within the Premier League or with the system that we use and the tier system we use, and also some things in the Champions League could be fixed. I mean, you know, like some of the qualifying stages I find weird. Like the fact of if you're in the Scottish League and you win the Scottish League, you still have to go through qualifiers for the Champions League. I think that's weird. But there's nothing wrong with the format of it. Like you play in the Champions League and you beat the people in your group to top the group, to then go to the next rounds, to then beat the people that you're drawn in front of you, to then try and win the trophy.
Just how a competition should be, basically, isn't it?
Yeah, and it's the same as the Premier League. You fight against all the other teams in the league. If you're the best, you win, and if you're the shittest, you get punished by going to the league below. And that's just the way it should be. And I know that you said about people don't like change, and I don't even think it's the case of I don't like change. I think it's a massive eye-opener, if it wasn't already, that a lot of the clubs don't give a shit about any of the fans. They don't care. Like they're literally in it for themselves and to make their own mark on football. And try and paint it as if they've got good intentions. So like, I know that you've got to go, but just to touch on it, Joel Glazer said that it was like amazing opportunity and it would fund the staff and it would keep the players and boost the facilities and things like that. And it's a bit like, okay, well, if that's the case, why do you keep draining money out of my club? Like, why have you not fixed some of the stadium that's leaking? Like, why are you not investing correctly in the areas for so long, and you've neglected the areas for so long in our squad that has ultimately affected performances and i.e. money that is supposed to go to you? And that I can't accept. I can't accept being presented with an idea that doesn't really make sense anyway, to then be kind of coaxed into why it's a good thing and that why you should thank us for making this. And again, like, I agree with the points in that thread there where I get it. I get why they've set it up, because they don't feel they're getting their fair share of money. And, you know, it's, if you don't feel like you're earning your worth and you've set this up and you're going to earn a shit ton of money for the club, okay, fine, whatever. But morally, in a game that is a fan-based game that has so much history behind generations and generations of people that have worked hard, that work 9 to 5 to have a season ticket, to like, and spend the majority of their wages just to go watch their football team, you're ripping that away just because you want to earn a few more quid in your pocket. It's open. It's an eye opener for some of the things, like we said, Sky Sports and BT and shit. Like, it's a massive eye opener that we've been shafted for so many years. But it's also, it's now like the final, like,
I think it's like the lesser of two evils. I think it's whatever you would prefer out of the bad. Like, both of them are shit, but like, it's what you would prefer. And I think the only reason why a lot of people would sit on the side of what you're saying is because that's how it's always been.
Well, what are you thinking? What's yours?
Personally, when I first heard, like, when I woke up this morning and I heard about it and I spoke to Matty about it, I was like, that just sounds stupid. Like, it's just, like you say, it's just breaking up the whole, like, fucking spirit of what football is and what the reason that we watch it, blah, 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 the reason that we play it, everything. But now I know the business behind it. I'm on the fence. So I don't know. So for me, it's almost a thing of like, I need to see it before, because a lot of it's speculation anyway. A lot of it is proposed platforms and fucking formats and whatever fucking big words you want to throw at it. It's all proposed at the minute. So until there's like a concrete thing of where this is definitely happening, this is not happening, blah, blah, this is how I'm going to do it, that's when I'll make my decision. Like, we'll come back to it once there is more concrete information on it. But at the minute, I'm not against it. I'm not for it, because it's, I don't really know, but like, I understand both aspects of why you would say no and why you would say yes. So but it's definitely like made me think a bit more about, oh shit, what's actually, like, what don't they show you?
Yeah,
I mean, so because I before you even said that, I forgot about so much of that stuff, and it's just like, okay, you just don't want them to change it because they're taking your money off you. Yeah. Like, if it was a thing of where they go, okay, we're going to get the Super League, we're going to make this, but you can have this, they'd probably be like, fucking do it now. Yeah. They'd probably be like, we're going to get 250 mil, like, each of the clubs, and they all have to give you 50 mil. They all have to give 50 mil to the Premier League or something to stay in it. They'd take it easily. Yeah, of course. They'd be like, right, we'll fuck the Champions League off then, and we'll just, because this is going to make us way more money anyway. Yeah. It's going to make us about 300 million just off of 6 teams. Yeah. So, do you know what I mean? It's just the way that it's set up, because they're being excluded. Everyone's like, no, I don't think we should do it. But, and I get, that's why all the pundits are saying that they've got like jobs at stake and fucking, they don't want to have to come out, like Gary Neville, Rio Ferdinand have to come out and be like, I know I said that this was shit, but I'm going to like pay for college for next 6 generations of my family. So would I prefer to do that? Probably yes. So I'm a bit on the fence, because people just decide what they think is right when it benefits them, innit? Yeah, of course it does. Obviously, if you're watching this on YouTube, just put it in the comments, because I actually want to know what people's opinions are on this. Because it's a lot of like, obviously I don't have Twitter or whatever. Liam said, who was the guy who put the thread on Twitter?
He was oh god, I can't even say his handle.
Spell it out.
EJIKETION.
All right, sound. Well,
It basically says education, but it's
Oh, so it's nice. All right, yeah, fine. But yeah, let us know what you think about it. Obviously, if you're on YouTube, like it, subscribe it, all that stuff. Follow us if you're on Spotify or Apple Music. And
yeah.
gonna be. We had a lack of episodes recently, but we're gonna get the setup once May 17th. Once May 17th comes, all the right equipment, and we're gonna be in the same room for once.
It was, and this is more a bit of an emergency kind of podcast.
This is just one of the things we've got to talk about
because it was too big not to. So hopefully, come May 17th, there's a bit more information, a bit more concrete stuff on what's going on, and then we can fully sit down and have a look at what's good and what's not so good. But at the moment, doesn't look great. But
no, it don't. But yeah. Anyway, thanks for listening. Obviously, we'll catch you in the next one. Peace.
Cheers, everyone.